Hi guys, my name is Ray with Positively Ray, where we talk about positivity in life and in parenting. As a mom, even before my son was born, I felt like a failure. Our plan from the beginning was to give birth at home with a midwife, and it was going very well until about the third or fourth day when my midwife told me that I had to go to the hospital. I had been in labor for so long, I just remember the nurses kept asking me, do I want pain medications? And all I could ask them was, how much was it going to cost? And when they couldn't tell me how much the pain medication was going to cost, I told them no. You guys have to understand where my brain was at that point. I was in so much pain already, and I had been in labor for so long. I wanted it to be done and over with, but I was not going to take pain medication because it was going to be too expensive, because it was going to make our debt worse. I remember holding it, I'm like, cool, I got a baby now. But where was that bond? Where was that feeling of happiness or love that everybody talked about? I didn't feel that. I felt tired, for sure. After pushing for 4 hours, you get really tired. Because of the long labor, I was in recovery for a long time. My husband ended up taking over the household and doing a lot for me and my son, and I felt more guilt because of it. I hated breastfeeding. And I can say that now. I wanted to quit the first week, the first month, the first 3 months, but everybody told me to push on.
Everyone told me that sooner or later we would get a hang of breastfeeding, that my son would get his latch, the pain would go away, and I would learn to love it. But we struggled with a latch constantly. I always either had a yeast infection or cracked nipples, and I grew to resent breastfeeding. That added to my guilt. I thought that since I was a mom, I had to love breastfeeding. And since I didn't, I was a bad mom.
So a couple months after we had our son, we finally got the hospital bills. The bills totaled over $15,000. I had a panic attack the moment my husband told me, because it was my fault. Guilt again, because I wasn't strong enough to give birth where we planned originally. Now we're in debt. We were in debt, and it was my fault. So when my son was about 10 months old, I contracted tuberculosis. I almost died. I was in the hospital for almost a week. Luckily, by then, we had learned from my first hospital visit, so we had insurance. I had to cut into my side. I had to relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to use my hands. I was in recovery time for 2 months, and in those 2 months, I watched my husband cook and clean and do laundry and take care of our son, and instead of feeling grateful, I felt guilty. Because I felt so guilty that I wasn't doing enough and that he had to take over. My brain told me that my husband saw that I was a bad wife and a bad mom. So I would get angry. How dare he not appreciate everything that I was doing for him? How dare he look for some blonde bimbo with big boobies that could actually clean a house and breastfeed? He was going to find somebody who was perfect because I was not perfect enough. And I thought all these negative, horrible, horrible thoughts about my husband while sitting on the couch, while he cooked dinner, while he fed our son, while he did laundry. That's how dark my brain was. I looked up depression, but I told myself over and over again I couldn't be depressed. I was still smiling and laughing even though I actually didn't feel any joy. I was still getting out of bed even though I didn't want to. I got out of bed because I had to, because my husband needed me, because my son needed me.
Don't let someone else's definition of depression stop you from getting help. For the longest time, I didn't think I was sick because I wasn't as bad as someone with postpartum psychosis. Because of that, I suffered for over a year before seeing a therapist.
I told everyone that I was fine because lying about being fine was easier than telling everybody that I was not. And admitting that something was wrong was admitting that there was something wrong with me. Admitting that I needed help meant that I was too weak. I wasn't strong enough. My depression told me a lot of lies. My depression told me that I was a bad wife, that my husband deserved better, and that he was going to leave me. My depression told me that I was a bad mom. My depression told me that my son would be better off if I stopped being in his life. My depression told me that both my husband and my son would be better off if I just stopped breathing. I used positive thoughts, positive actions. I'm just being more positive to overcome my depression.
If you want to learn more about how I overcame postpartum depression, check out my Instagram at PositivelyRay. I post about my daily positive habits as well as do giveaways and challenges to help other moms with their postpartum depression.
I need you to know that seeking therapy, seeking help, telling one person that there's something wrong and that you need help doesn't make you a bad mom, doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean that your brain is broken. It's kind of like when you're fighting a battle and you're calling for reinforcements. When you call for reinforcements, that doesn't mean that you've lost the battle. It means that you want to win the war. It means that you're still willing to fight. You just need a little bit of help. You deserve to feel happiness again, and you will. I promise. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a mom who went through something like what you're going through. And I want you to know that you're not alone. You are not broken, and you're going to be okay. You might not be okay right now. You might not feel okay right now, but you're gonna be okay. I promise. My name is Ray with Positively Ray. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Sorry for the serious video, guys. If you guys are like me and you like watching funny, silly videos, click the link down below to check out my What Do Stay-at-Home Moms Do All Day video. It's really silly. I had a lot of fun filming it, and I hope you enjoy. You guys are awesome, so have a good day.